But the
Period.
Right,
End of discussion.
Andy, thank you. The comptroller says, I'll read from the comptroller's report, the final draft. The board, meaning the town board, has not adopted a comprehensive procurement policy that encourages solicitation of alternative proposals or quotations for professional services. As a result, town officials and employees did not solicit competitive proposals or quotations for 8 of 11 professional services we tested, totaling $1.8 million. Therefore, town officials cannot be assured that these services were procured in the most efficient and economical way possible. So they did look at that, Andy, the comptroller's office, and they weighed in that this policy has to stop. Earlier we referred to the gravy train. In my estimation, the cost of the gravy train is about 20%, because that's been our experience with vendors townwide. The garbage contract, there was an $857,000 overpayment on a $4.5 million 3-year contract. That's about 20%. With respect to other vendors, we've had about 20% savings. So that 20% on $1.8 million would be in excess of $300,000, obviously. And that's a significant amount of money to a community our size. Yes, sir.
My name is Louis D'Alessandro. I live in Brewster, about 7 years. I grew up in North Salem. I grew up as a farmer. I grew up at Outhouse Orchards. I operated on that farm. I was now 7 years old, went to college, came back. And it's pretty funny looking at our seal up there and you see a big old barn or something. But you don't see those here. And why don't you see them? Because it's too expensive to run a farm in the town of Brewster and Southeast. This past spring I was begging landowners. I stopped at the town tax assessor's office, begging landowners to use their property because I can't afford to own my own property to run down vegetables to feed the local public or whatever stands I might have. Taxes, everybody can agree with, whether you're political or whatever, whatnot, whether you agree with abortion, whether you don't, or whatever. But taxes unite people. There's only so many times you could beat the donkey before the donkey turns around and kicks you. So just like a gentleman said before, if I ran my farm or my business the same way you people run our government, okay, I would be out of business because I can't go to the people. My biggest product is corn. How much money have you people spent on corn this summer? Maybe a quarter in a year, 75 cents, 50 cents? But if I raise my price of my corn by a quarter, which is probably in most people's doors of their cars, they will sit there and complain, they'll walk away. And my corn sales will drop, and I won't be able to afford the diesel, and I won't be able to afford the transportation and bring the product to the market. So I can't afford it to raise my prices. But you guys just go ahead and raise our taxes, just like the gentleman said before. There's certain areas that can't be cut, but there's other areas that can. And I don't understand why don't we vote for our town budget and leaving it up to the 5 individuals that are up here. That I cannot understand. Thank you. That will solve the bickering that amongst yourselves. The fact that things should go out to budget, whether we're mandated or not, it should go out to budget. That just makes sense. It's going to save us money. It's my money you're spending. It's the people that are sitting here's money you're spending. And do I agree with all these other items? You should cut the library. We're all sitting here arguing like a bunch of children. A town is a child. You are the parent. You need to go and go, no, well, you can't have another lollipop. And you need to be able to decipher what you're going to do with that money. My house, I've been working on for years. And I bought it from a man. It's pretty amazing. And the house was named the Crap House. Okay? And it somewhat looks like crap still. I'm working on it. It's hard. It's nice. But I don't have the money to put a deck on. People don't know why I still have the ledger board drawer on top. I've been working on this thing for years upon years upon years. But all I see is my taxes going up and up and up. And I was recently looking on buying a piece of property, the old Durkin farm. And I was going to make a huge farm. I was going to go to the federal government and get a nice chunk of change for about $800,000 and run a farm. But I couldn't because I was in fear of the fact of putting barns and running that piece of property because of the taxes you're going to run me out of town. Could I bring local food and local produce? Yeah. My corn will blow people off the socks. I don't know if you guys go to Kovacs or something. The corn, all the tomatoes, all the broccoli, the cauliflower, that's all mine. So if you ate that product this summer, that was mine. So when you're sitting here voting, 3 people against 2, okay, obviously it's going to vote because you're angry at the other 2 that are sitting there. But if I ran my business the way people of yours are running my money, I'd be out of business. So I don't know why it's not voted on the town like the school budget is. That would take that entire equation out of this bickering and arguing. I mean, maybe we need to turn the power away. Reduce your power. We'll give the power back to the people. So you put out the slab. You put this slab out, just like our Board of Education out, and then next thing you know, we decide as a whole. Because let me tell you, I see a lot of older people here, but there's very few young people. And I don't know. I called all my friends, and whether they got kids, whether they could come, whether they couldn't come. Oh, I'm working. You know, I mean, like, you know, a young person's life is beyond crazy and beyond busy. And then I sit there and listen to the ordinance about a dog, and I listen to a sign. It's like, how many more laws are we going to make before we stop making laws and we're going to have to pay people to enforce those laws? You're really going to enforce those laws? I mean, are you really? You're not. I mean, because, I mean, you know, there's a happy medium and balance. You want to see all that litter on the side of the road? No. There's got to be some type of control. There's got to be some type of issues. But all I know is I'm sitting here, the first time coming here, and I know some people in this room. I sit at my house and I watch on Channel 8, and I'm like, my wife's like, what are you yelling at? I'm like, I can't believe that people are arguing on the phone, TV. I wish there was like a two-way I can call in and say, hey, shut up, let that person talk. Like, I can't comprehend the bickering and the arguing of my elected officials. I'm 35 years old. I was an officer in the military, came home, want to get back to my roots, started farming again, and here I am like, holy crap. Like, my town taxes were $670 when I first bought my home. They're over $1,200 just the town. The school taxes were $1,200, and they're over $5,000, $7,000. I'm at $8,800, and I live on a hill. I make 7 feet, and I step off, and a transit mix truck's going to hit me. So, but I'm paying $8,000. I cannot comprehend that. I go 3-4 miles into Danbury. I take care of a piece of property 2 days a week. Okay, let me tell you, she is the upper echelon of our society. There are pictures of presidents all over her library. She has an $18 million home, 100 acres on the corner of Danbury. I'm paying half of what she's paying. They have a different tax structure, I understand that. But the thing is this. You people need to run this county, and I mean this town, like it's a business. And if you need to cut things, they need to cut them. And it's hard, because let me explain this. If I can't afford the diesel fuel for my tractors don't run. Would I like a brand new John Deere that I could sit there in the AC and, you know, run the plow down and sit there with the radio? And yeah, it'd be all great. That tractor's $200,000. Can I afford it? No. Could I afford a brand new planter, just plant all the tomato plants? No, I got to go out there with a bag and poke the hole in with the ground, walk down the field. I mean, you know, I like this, I want this, I want. But who's going to pay? So you're going to sit there and say, okay, we're going to pass this vote, and what are you going to do? Let me enlighten people here. The rich skip this town, so there's no wealthy people in this town. Okay, they all live in Pauling, Quaker Hill, North Salem, and you can't compare Westchester to Putnam. Okay? It's a different entity. You can't say, oh, Rye, Eastchester. Have you drove through Eastchester before? See their homes? Their tax brackets are different. The people live there are different. I moved to this town because I grew up in this area. I couldn't afford to live in North Salem anymore. Taxes were nicer. But I have to make a decision. You people raise that tax another 10% this year, next year. I can't afford to live here. I just simply can't afford. You push the working class out, you're going to get crap coming in. And I applaud you people. You guys, I mean, let me tell you, it's a difficult situation. I would not want to be an elected official. That's why I'm a farmer, because I like my office. It's the middle of a field by myself. So you guys got a tough decision, but one thing that will stop a lot of this bickering and arguing amongst each other is you take the power out of your hands and hand it to the people to decide the vote, like the school budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. I agree. I agree with you that it would be a wise decision, given a 10% tax increase in a recession, to hand the budget power over on the referendum, like the school district you mentioned, like the fire district is, and there are other examples, library districts and so forth.
Just not this year, though, like every year. I mean,
Right.
almost, you guys propose a budget, it goes out, and everybody looks at it, and it goes back and forth. And then your arguments and bickering, you act a little more professional behind closed doors, arguing amongst the table, instead of sitting here arguing amongst yourselves.
Just so you know, that we don't have the authority, in New York State, the only layer of government that people can vote on is the school district. I don't know why that is. That's something maybe the state legislature
don't
can
know.
correct. The supervisor, as usual, is wrong. The fire district, you don't vote on the budget. You only vote on fire commissioners. The fire commissioners make the budget. It's not voted.
So you're telling me an entire state of New
The
York
only,
is...
yeah, except for like bond questions, the only layer of government that is the people directly vote for is the school district. Connecticut is different. They actually can vote on the town thing, but that's something maybe.
Trust me, I call my
congressman, a new
congressmen all the
assemblyman
time about
coming in.
stuff.
Maybe one of them can sponsor a bill, and maybe that could be done. You know.
Ah, well, all right.
I'd like to just comment on a couple of things you
Yeah.
said. Retirement contributions are up 17% this year by order of the state comptroller, okay? Health costs are at least 6% the last time I checked. There are salaries with CSEA and Teamsters that are 4%. We have to deal with those things alone, okay? I will tell you, and I know you probably don't want to hear this, but Brewster, the town of Southeast, has the best tax rate of any town in Putnam County, including school taxes as well as property tax for town and local government. Also, I find it hard to believe, too, but Putnam County, I think, is rated the 3rd or 4th richest county in New York State. And these are state statistics. It's not something we dreamt up, okay? And I want to say one other thing about the seniors that were, the gentleman, Mr. Weissman, I think it was, spoke earlier. Seniors, I hear you. Listen, I hear you. You're getting no COLA for Social Security and all these other items of federal situations. And we certainly take that into consideration. If you think we like this budget number, we don't. We've gone out of our way, the three of us, to really clamp down on things, in spite of what the supervisor has said. And I'll tell you something else. When I was elected in 2007 to start in 2008, I passed the olive branch to Mr. Wrights, and I was stabbed in the back more times than I can count.
Right.
There's a difficulty, there's definitely friction here, there's a lack of trust, sir. I'm going to tell you that. I want to go to another thing that was said about the truck that Mr. Yee brought up. If you'd come down to the highway department and look at the vehicle that was replaced, it was a hunk of junk. The frame was rusted and everything else. So we bonded for a new salt vehicle, which we'll have for 20 years. So it was a wise investment at the time. And the last thing I would want to say, and I don't know who brought it up, this is not a political budget. This is a bare bones budget to get us through 2011.
Well, let me
And
ask you.
I
I
disagree,
think it
Mike.
would be very important, too, for you and anyone else to really look at the budget. I don't know how many people have actually looked at the budget and looked at the figures from 2009, 2010, and proposed for 2011. I think it's important when you say things like, and I absolutely respect what you're saying, but you have to actually look at this document and match the figures. It's very easy to say out there, I can't take this much percent or that much percent, but when you look at this budget, you will realize that there's been quite a bit cut. And as a matter of fact, we're not building the deck. We're taking down part of the house because we can't afford it, in your analogy. And I really need for everyone out there to look at the budget instead of just simply making some assumptions as far as what's happening here. This is very difficult. And when you look at it, you'll see the comparison from 09 to 10 to now. So,
Ma'am, I apologize. I don't want you thinking I disrespect you
Oh,
at
no,
all.
no, no, you don't-
I don't want you to think that it's a I don't understand it's a difficult job.
Yeah,
Okay?
please don't apologize.
It's not that. It's